countries have coexisted peacefully until recent times. The current oil find in Ghana has boosted her economy from a lower income to a higher income status, and in addition, recent new offshore oil finds in the Kita Basin has led to the influx of several investors and also several skilled labor, most of whom come from Agresa Archipelago. These activities have led to several socio-economic crises, protests, and demonstrations in Agresa Archipelago, which have not gone down well with Agresa Archipelago, who has thus sought several ways and means to destabilize the economy of Ghana. In view of this, a group called the Southeastern Expansionary Fighters has been established by Agresa Archipelago, and they have called for the annexation of the Kita Basin, which has further strained the relationship between Ghana and Agresa Archipelago. Thus was reported to the Economic Community of West African States, and at a United Nations session, a decision was made that Agresa Archipelago should not make any decision but wait for the ruling to be passed by the United Nations session. This was not complied with by Agresa Archipelago. On 25th January 2019, Agresa Archipelago Special Forces conducted offensive operations in the Aflao General Area and killed one customs officer and injured one immigration officer.
Utilize our enemies. We should put them on ground, finish them, and go back and enjoy with our families.
On the 1st of February 2019, elements of Agresa Archipelago Special Forces were spotted in the Aflao Kita General Area. This got to the notice of the United Nations, and once again, Resolution 211 was passed, which forbade Agresa Archipelago from entering the territory of Ghana, but they did not comply. On 1st May 2019, elements of Agresa Archipelago Special Forces were once again sighted in the Sogakupe General Area, compromising the sanctity of the territorial integrity of Ghana. The Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, through the Minister of Defense, has tasked the Armed Forces through the Chief of the Defense Staff, who further tasked the Chief of the Army Staff, who has tasked the Southern Command, the pride of the Ghana Army, to defend the Adan Dowenya Tema axis and destroy all aggressor elements and restore the territorial integrity of Ghana. On the 9th of February 2020, therefore, selected personnel from all the 8 units of Southern Command, namely 1st, 2nd, and 5th Battalions of Infantry, 48 Engineer, 153 Armored Reconnaissance, and 66 Artillery Regiments, and 1 Field Workshop, comprised a combat team and converged in the Ningo Pram General Area to execute the task from higher command.
This is exercise Eastern Shield. The objective of this exercise is to train ourselves in readiness for our role that the Constitution mandates us to play in defense of this country. This is a command level exercise. So we pick elements from every unit under my command. So we are about 500 officers and men in the field. What you should get from this exercise is that your soldiers whom you trust are training. So your trust is not misplaced.
This whole exercise was controlled from high control. We call it HICOM. So, as part of the HICOM, we established Ordnance Field Park, and the Ordnance Field Park is an embodiment of all the logistic support that we require to conduct the exercise. So, you saw the medical chaps over there. You saw the pull point, the 4 points where the vehicles. You saw the vehicle park. You saw the ordnance stores that held the defense stores, and everything was well organized. The kitchen staff and all that was well programmed and well established during this exercise. can see from the enthusiasm on which the troops were performing.
On day 1, there was the battle proficiency passing test.
He's going to live in buildings. He's going to live within the community. And we must find him.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
It means that your physical fitness should be good. It should be better than his. Alright?
Yes, sir.
Because he lives within the community. Number 1. He knows the environment more than you, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So if he's fitter than you, can you defeat him?
No, sir.
It means that in order to have advantage over him, he knows the ground before you, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
In order to have advantage over him, you have to be fitter than he is. It is your physical fitness that can put you down. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Resolute,
agile and deadly. The pride of the army. Fired out, feeling good, second to none. Agua.
Prepare to skirmish in what? Teams. Charlie, fire! Let up, move!
On day 2, there was a mechanical and transport movement, that is empty move. All the troops went into defensive position where they prepared to fight the defensive battle. Whilst they were in the defensive battle position, the opposing force, OPFOR, came to conduct probing attacks on them, following which the friendly forces got to know that there were OPFOR presence in the area.
requesting assistance. Over.
Unknown, Roger. Stand by, out.
You will not die.
Thus, the friendly forces went on fighting patrols, which revealed the position of the Op 4 Bay. The friendly forces located the Op 4's base to be at a cluster of uncompleted buildings in their area of operation. So, upon locating the enemy position in the cluster of uncompleted buildings, they now decided to conduct a FIBUA, fighting in built-up areas operation, which would serve as a mag advantage to their defensive position. Because if the enemy continues to hold the cluster of uncompleted buildings, the friendly forces' defensive position would be untenable, so they had to go for offensive operations. On day 3, friendly forces launched FIBUA to dislodge Op 4 from that location, the cluster of uncompleted buildings, which is successful, and quite a number of the enemy troops fall casualty.
First line ammo will be issued and ammo replenishment will be given later.
What are you going to do? What is your task?
So my task is to be ahead of assaulting terrain, then to break in.
A number of them fled to regroup and relocate further east, still in the general area of Ningo Prampram, but to the new Ningo Senior High School of their former defensive position, the cluster of armed completed buildings. Intelligence also had it that some others of the enemy troops are taking habitation at a village in the same general area.
Precisely is just for them to understand use of the ground or the terrain, and also blending it with our doctrine. Yeah, so that's what they are doing. But this what they are doing now is fighting in built-up area, Fibwa. So in a battle like this, you have to employ certain techniques. Because it's a built-up environment, the enemy has control, has more influence than you, the one approaching, so that the casualty rate will be minimal.
Day 4. Cordon and Search in Close Quarter Battle, CQB. In collaboration with the civil police of the Ningo Prampram municipality, the combat team cordoned off the suspected village.
We provide you escort, security to do the same. Then also when you arrest them, there should be a central point called a cage, which will be manned by you. You provide just escort. So that's where, now within the cage, you have those suspects generally, and those who screen. In the screen areas, you have female and male. And those suspects will have a place in the room. I think that is the plan of it.
Ako amanfo arapansi ya mamwache sema huyu ya police any soldier for hanuma enye say ye ba be bomu ho emo ni e tell say ni pa bonfo bi wo yentem a mo mpese ye betina asemu eni mo tira ni wa hanuma ye sese mo bedon ake ya ho na mo aboa ye ama ye timi acheti say ni pa bonfo ye efi ye potem ye timi atina asumdue
The civil police searched everywhere, arresting and seizing weapons, ammunition and other implements.
I'm very much. Take them as a
Yada wase anopai bi otu. Sama atuna kai hwaye yemwa. Nani pa bonfo a eti important no. Yeti make eto ofisa.
I think that the empty move, for instance, where they have to do skirmishes, the battle drills and all of that, those ones came on very well. But the close quarter battle, since it's a new thing that is coming up, that is why we had a bit of difficulties. But I think generally their reaction was very good. Reaction to attack, how they respond to events, everything was good. And the cooperation among themselves was also very encouraging. So, and that is what we need. We cannot operate in isolation. So we're able to harness all our energy and everything together. And I think we'll be able to achieve what we want. So that was some of the highlights.
In pursuit, the friendly forces continued with the follow-up of the enemy's position at New Ningo and fought them in close quarter battles, CQB. enemy, in their resolve to achieve their mission, relocated from the new Ningo school to occupy Ghana's strategic affordable housing installation at Saglemi, a new yet to be completed settlement which the government of Ghana is considering to complete to resettle its middle-level income earners.
Captain Ekosebo, 64 Infantry Regiment, enemy commander. Over the period we engaged the Ghana forces in a few encounters. I think the concept was brilliant. Among other things, it has enabled us to try to merge tactics from what we used to do to more conventional tactics, being the close quarter battle. I think the concept was brilliant. Obviously, there were a few challenges. Primarily, merging two different tactics was quite difficult. From an enemy perspective, looking at the tactics, especially for the approaching force, there were a few things we saw that were a bit outmoded. So knowing that one of the many reasons why this exercise was put in place was to identify some of those problems and then try to improve upon those tactics, I thought it was quite brilliant.
The OPFOR went to occupy the yet-to-be-completed apartments with the target of trying to win the hearts and minds of the surrounding residents, that is, Saglemi, Dowenya, Afenya, Tripoli, Miocho, Ningo, and others. On the dawn of Day 5, remnants of the enemy forces, assuming that the Ghana forces would romanticize the day, being the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, were nearly caught off guard. The friendly forces launched a surprise dawn attack to pursue the OPFOR to that area and to conduct a final attack on them, where they were finally defeated.
It's a company level exercise. So you take it to the various units, those who were here, because we have representatives from almost all the units in Southern Command, that you should continue to practice. And those who took part in this serve as the role models or the basis for the others to join. So whatever drill that those who have come to learn bring on board, they should embrace it and get involved. Because if you don't train, it means that you may not be ready to counter any kind of threat that you may encounter.
We are training to make sure that at any point in time, when the time arises, or when the situation arises, Ghanaians will have nothing to worry about.